Hello and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. We are here in the Cleave Hub in our Sidewinder, and you may notice there's a laser going off above our head. That's because there's a naughty boy in the space station and they're trying to blow him up. We'll ignore that just for the moment. We'll go to our starport services. So what I want to go through here is we'll just refuel quickly. What you're probably wondering now is if you've got the hang of the basics in Elite, flying around, what you're doing, the control systems, the galaxy map, all that kind of thing. You're probably thinking, well, now I want to make some money. How do I make some money? Well, my suggestion for the best way to make money appear to be going into the hangar. My opinion on the best way to make money in Elite early on is to do these kind of missions here. So you start off with 1,000 credits. That's not a lot. It's not really enough to trade with yet. It's not really enough to upgrade anything with. So you just want to do some missions and get some money for them. So I'm going to take this on here, Data Handler. All this is you have to get to the Volta station in Crimain within 1 hour and 2 minutes. That's real time, 1 hour 2 minutes. And believe me, that's very possible. And you'll get 1,333 credits. May seem like that isn't really a lot of money, and it isn't really, but that's double what you would start off with. So you've already doubling your money basically just by doing a simple mission. What you could then look at, if we go to our, I've accepted that, so that's now a mission for me. I'd love to do this light cargo one here, but for the sake of this mission we'll carry on using the Sidewinder, otherwise it's a little bit cheaty, isn't it, I guess. But we're going to the galaxy map. Now we need to go to Crimain, so I believe it's off to our left. I believe I've been before. There we go, Crimain. We need to go down here. You see the little circle that I think that basically means you have a mission there. So if we plot a route there, because we need to go there, then also what we'll have a look for is see in the system data what we've got going on here. So we've got Waller Terminal. Actually, let's have a look which terminal we need to go to, because that saves us a bit of time as well. Come out of this. We'll go to the left, look at our transactions. We need to go to the Volta station. So let's go to our galaxy map. So in Crimain we have the Volta station. And which one's this? I'm going to guess it's the only other one here. Volta station, there we go. So they do have a commodities market, so we could take some stuff with us and then sell it there. So they like to import platinum, palladium and gold. So that says to me immediately that they need metals there. They like to export food cartridges, basic medicine and clothing. So I wouldn't take any of them with me. So the problem with Cleave Hub is it doesn't really have any metals there. It actually imports metal as well. So what I might look at is something which is relatively cheap just to take with me. Power generators I find are usually pretty good. Now what I can have a look at on the power generators is this. Export to and export to Crimain. So I can see that they do actually go to Crimain quite well. Now I could say, if I had 1,000 credits I could buy 3 of these, or 2 actually. I'll cheat a little bit and take 3 in my Sidewinder. I could take a couple of them with me and then try to sell them on there for a profit as well. So let's try and do that basically. So here we go, let's here. Yeah, it's just going to spin me around. So I'm facing the right way, which is very nice. And here we go. So again, we'll just
ship released, engines
up,
engaged,
and then we're going forward with W.
landing gear retracted. And you'll smash into it. As I say, if my shields are up, it's not too much of an issue because it will I'll just bounce off it basically. But if I didn't have shields, it would do some damage to my hull, which would cost me money. Now I was mass locked, sorry. I'm not mass locked anymore on the far right there. So if I just hit the pound, perhaps, and then we already have the system set up to go to Crimain. However, one thing I will say about the plotting a route system is this: it plots the route based upon each jump
point to get there. So if I go to the galaxy map to explain it a little bit better, you'll see to go to Cremain, you go Patriti, and then the Alari sector MCV B27, then to Cremain. So if I plot a course, it'll jump me to there, then I'll jump to there, then I'll jump to there. Now if in some of my ships, I'll be able to get there in one go, because it's only 9.66 light years. I can't do that in a Sidewinder, but I would be able to, I think, go straight to this point. So I would be able to cut out a point straight away. So let's see, doing that, and there we go. Yep, the Alari sector MCV B27. Just about made that. Let's go with a locked and engaged.
Frameshift drive charging.
And we can see it's just up there where we need to go. Again, that little compass thing next to the radar, really, really useful. I had no idea what that did for about 15 hours into this game. And I was just flying around, searching, moving around, searching. So it's really useful to know everything about it. I love the way as well it spins around when you're in hyperspace. It's really cool. So we're going to come out. Remember, every time we come out of hyperspace, you're going to come out flying into the sun. So be ready to move. And then we don't need to do anything at all in this system. We just need to go to Remain. You can see it's already selected there. So we just need to find where it is. Upwards. And there it is. Okay, so we'll just initiate
Frameshift drive charging.
Frameshift drive again. And so this is how you get from long distances. Basically, you just keep doing jumps like this, jump, 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 as much as much as your fuel would allow you to. Once you run out of fuel, you see on the far right there, you have the fuel icon. You can see just over half the amount left over. Just to get to what is a relatively small distance. So as you upgrade your ships, you get bigger fuel tanks. It means you can travel further on the fuel. Basically, you also can get. You also can get fuel scoops, which allow you to kind of skim the sun for fuel, so you never have to basically dock for fuel. It's a little bit dangerous. I've never actually tried it, but I don't like going in the sun. They've blown me up before getting too near them. So what I need to do now is I need to go to the Volta station, and there we go, Volta station. We're going to lock that destination so we know where it is. It's just up there. And here we go. Now, Volta Station is quite far away, so this is going to take a little bit of time to get here. What I'll probably do is just edit it down, unless something happens, and let me run through what could happen. Well, really the only thing which could happen is I could get interdicted. Interdiction is when somebody flies up behind you and effectively locks onto you and drags you out of your light speed here. You have an option to try to get out of it if you can kind of be manoeuvrable enough, and in a Sidewinder it's fairly easy to do so. If you're in a giant hauler, it would be a different matter because they're not as manoeuvrable. You may end up finding yourself interdicted. What that means is it drags you out of light speed into the impulse speed stage, and then also the guy who did that is just behind you. So it's usually done by pirates or bounty hunters to kind of drag their prey out so that they can destroy them or steal their cargo, etc, etc. And it can be a bit of a pain, but it's also a great way to earn money if you quit your ship with one and then you go off bounty hunting. Because if I scan, say, this ship here, this Orca, this will be clean because all Orcas are clean as far as I'm aware. But you see where it says clean there on the left hand side? If that said wanted and I destroyed him, I'd get money for that. I probably wouldn't be able to destroy an Orca because they're a massive ship. We've got a Viper here, that's with the Federal Service. This Eagle, it's also with the Federal Service, they're not going to be wanted. Let me just get the bolt system back with my locks on target. There we are. So yeah, as I say, so you can get interdicted, which is something which can happen to you, especially if you're just flying in a straight line all the way there. Here a little bit more. Which is getting fairly close to it now actually, so I may not need to edit as much as I thought I might need to. And as we go in, you'll see my speed automatically starts to decline as I get in closer towards it anyway. So as long as I'm keeping it within that poo stage, you're generally okay. It's when you start getting impatient, you start hammering it forward, going, I want to go as fast as possible, that problems start to fly. And let's see if I actually fly past this station. doesn't look like I'm going to. So you see, if you keep in that blue stage, you generally don't have any problems. When I first started, I didn't know about that. I was just flying straight past all these things, having to make 2-3 different runs onto them. A little bit annoying, really. When you can just do them like this. It just makes it a little bit more simpler, really. And I think a lot of people who get annoyed at this kind of stage of the travel don't really realise that, and they're just impatient. They just want to fly somewhere. But this, as I said before, this is a space simulation game, and what's kind of cool about it is that you do have to do this thing when you're travelling. It's not like some other games where you want to get from one point to another, you just click the fast button, travel button, and you're there. The journey is what it's about. It's not about the end point. You can see there's 2 ships there flying in towards the Volta station as well. It may be that Volta station is a little bit annoying and comes up with the problems I have with these smaller stations, which is where you get a lot of people going towards them, and there's not very many docking places. Now you can already see my speed there is in the blue, so I'm doing really well, and I'm just about to come out of light speed here into wind loss, and there we go, safely disengage. So you don't need to fly in, full guns blazing and top speed all the way there. If you just do it like that, I think it saves you a lot more time than flying completely. And that's a really good tip, because I did not learn that for a long time. So here we are, we're travelling towards the Volta station. I can't see many other contacts on here, so fingers crossed we'll get in straight away. Going to request
Docking request denied.
And here we go, docking request has been declined. That's because all the landing pads are being used, or they might just not like me. I think they do. So deployed. So I've entered the no fire zone as well. So basically, I can't fire my weapons as well. That's worth noting. You'll get fined if you do, and they won't like you, and they may even attack you as well. We'll just slow straight down here to full stop, and we'll try again.
Docking request denied.
It's been declined. Now I will edit this until the point where I can actually dock in here, because it could be a little while. I can't really see there's any other ships around. There isn't, so I'm just here waiting because people are sitting on the landing pads basically. And as I said, this is the kind of annoying thing which can happen sometimes within Elite, but
docking request denied.
It's because it's a simulation, and this would happen. It's like an aeroplane waiting to land. Sometimes it has to do circles in the sky before it can actually come into land, because the landing strips are being used. It's the same thing really. It can be really annoying, especially when you have a time limit. We have a time limit on here. If I go into my transactions, you can see I have 50 minutes, so it's not really going to be too much of an issue. But sometimes I've had to scrape a mission where I've been flying around to different places and get back, and you've only got 5 minutes left, and you're sitting here, and there's 10 other ships, and be a little frustrating. What you can do, as I've said before, is you can actually log out of Elite, log back in. You'll come in at about 10 to 12 kilometers away from the station. Generally there won't be anybody around, and a lot of the time I've been able to land kind of first thing.
Docking request denied.
It's a little annoying to just kind of sit here and do this, but I'll do this just for the sake of continuity on there as well. So hopefully we'll see you in just a minute where I'll be coming into land.
Docking request granted.
Hello and welcome back. So we have our docking request granted. Didn't take that long really, we're just flying in again to landing. Just going to slow down a little bit. Drop the landing gear. And now the important thing as well when you're landing on these pads, because
landing gear deployed.
Versus, this is the wrong way to be facing. It won't let you land if you're facing the ramp. So actually what you need to do is turn around and face towards, usually it's the tower, or the little building where they kind of give you permission to land and things like that. So we're just going to come in here a little bit and drop down. As you see, sometimes the landing computer doesn't actually turn on.
Docking successful.
Land anyway.
Engines
so if you head towards the middle of
disengaged.
the pad, that's where you're probably best off. Now, we're inside the station, and we're just going to go to the bulletin board, and we're going to drop off that right there. So that's an easy 1,300 credits we just made. What it also does is it increases your influence with the faction by 1% here. We're allied now, me and this faction, which means they really like me. And for the faction I was delivering it to, it gives them an economic boom, increase my influence in them, and we're neutral with each other. So that's also really good as well. Now, I can sell my food cartridges here. I'm going to sell them anyway, just get rid of the cargo space. 5 credits is neither here nor there. And as you can see on these power generators, I made 462 credit profit. So realistically, just for that kind of pretty short little trip, I made about 1700 credits on it, which is, you know, not too much to sniff at to begin with. That would then allow me to buy, you know, some, you know, better things. I could buy a bigger cargo bay or whatever. But realistically, you probably want to be going for some you know, better kind of missions to get a little bit more money. Unfortunately, you know, my cargo hold doesn't give me enough to take this beer there. Otherwise, nice 3,000 credits would be good. My recommendation for getting up your credits to begin with would be to focus on trading. Combat's a little bit difficult until you upgrade. It's not impossible, and if you're pretty good at this sort of thing, then you know it's a great way to make money, getting bounties off people. But again, you would need to buy something like an interdiction drive to make it viable. You can fly to nav points in systems, drop out of hyperspace there, and there are other ships around which are usually wanted, and you can kill them. The problem with that is there's loads of human players there, and it's only the person who gets the last shot who gets the bounty. So if you're, you know, if you spent 5 minutes trying to destroy out a, you know, £50,000 bounty ship, and then, you know, some guy just comes in from hyperspace and, you know, shoots one laser and kills it, he's the one getting the 50,000, not you. So you have to be very careful with that. I prefer the interdiction method to the nav point method, because you get that ship on your own. It's more dangerous because you don't have anything to back you up, but if you do, you know, that's why it's important to have a ship which has been outfitted properly. I'm just going to refuel here, and we're going to head back to. We're not going to take anything with us. I mean, if you were going back to, we're going back to the Cleve hub, so we could have a look here and see if there's anything which they might want here. Which would be a good idea to say jot down at Cleve hub what exactly it is they want. Now I know for a fact that they would want Cobalt, and 627 is a good price because the average is 823. So I could say, with my few thousand credits, I could buy a couple of these, take them back to the Cleve hub, make some money on them. Obviously, the reason why it's easy to make money when you have money is because, especially through trading, is because you can buy more things. You know, you can upgrade your ship.
Ship released.
Cargo hold,
Engines engaged. Landing gear retracted.
And yeah, it just makes things a lot easier. So we're going to fly back to Erebate. We need to go to Treaty.
Frameshift drive charging.
And engage our hyperdrive. If you're not aligned with this, and you've engaged your hyperdrive and it gets cylinder charging, all it'll do is say, please align with target, and just,
3,
by the time you get there,
2,
it's
1, engage.
as I said, I know these terms I'm using aren't the exact terms within the game, but I just find it easier to differentiate which you travel. That's a big sign. By saying, you know, impulse, light speed, and hyperdrive, really. So, as you can see here, as I was saying about nav beacons, there's a nav beacon there. You could go there, you could blow up a few bounties, probably get a few thousand credits for it. There isn't, in my opinion anyway, there isn't one surefire way to go and make money. I went through the trading route to begin with because I found it was just a little bit safer and it allowed me to get used to the mechanics of the game a little bit better. If you're happy with them and you're going and you want to go and blow some things up, then go for it. It's not easy, but when you start out, you know, it can be very, very rewarding. So we're going to go back to Erebate. We're going to select that, lock in the game.
Frameshift drive charging.
And off we go. Here we go.
Ready to engage.
Draw up.
3, 2, 1. Engage.
The other disadvantage with going out bounty hunting is this: you're going to take damage unless you're really good, and damage costs money. So whereas with trading, generally you're not taking damage unless you're being a little bit foolhardy and flying into space stations, you know, full speed, or you happen to get attacked by pirates, you know, interdicting you. It's a shame I haven't actually been interdicted to show you what that's like. Generally, I wouldn't say it happens very often, but to a fair amount it does happen. But as I say, when you're in a Sidewinder or a Viper or a Cobra, they're pretty easy to get out of in those things. And even if you do get interdicted, you can usually get away just by slamming boost, flying away as fast as possible from the person, a few evasive manoeuvres, and you're there really. So we're just heading back towards the Cleve Hub now, and then what I'll do is I'll probably change into a different ship and show you some of the kind of slightly, I'd say mid game options that you have to go through. As I say, most of the money I've made has been made up through trading, delivering items to different sectors, rather than bounty hunting at the minute. But I have made a considerable amount. I think I've made just over 200,000 just from bounty hunting itself, and it's pretty good fun. So, just going to keep here. And so you can imagine with kind of, I've only travelled a couple of systems here. If I wanted to go straight across the other side of the galaxy, it's going to take me a long time. Speed up a little bit. There's a couple of other guys as well going towards the Cleve Hub.
Docking
You can
request
see there
granted.
that hauler is by Commander Captain Lone Star. That is a human person.
Frameshift charge detected.
He's obviously out doing a bit of cargo running because he's in a hauler, and unless you're mental, you wouldn't use them for anything else because they're like the transit vans of the world. If I was comparing the Sidewinder to a car, it'd be a Ford Fiesta, I think. Quite reliable, nippy, great for running around town in. Get a few things in the boot, but ultimately, you know, you're going to want something a little bit bigger, a little bit fancier once you get the money. Cars though. There we go. Docking pad number 19. There's nothing to see at the end here. And sometimes they do kind of blink out, but we know that's number 19. There we go, it's back in now. So let's just come in here. As I say, when you're landing, you really want to be facing the what I call the tower, or the landing kind of building, the docking building, rather than the ramp. You take off facing the ramp. It won't let you dock.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Here we are, we've come to Cleve Lab. We'll just see if we made any money on those, on what we brought. So here we go, so Cobalt is selling for 900, so we made 546 just by taking those two. So you can imagine as you build your money up, you get more cargo space, you carry more of those, you know, a few hundred credits profit suddenly turns into a few thousand, turns into 10,000, turns into 60,000, you know, as you go bigger and bigger, and you know, just for short runs like that, you can make good profit on them as well, which is why I think trading is a real viable option if you want to go and make some money. Just have a look on the bulletin board, see if there's anything of interest in here. Not so much at the minute, but yeah, there's lots of things going, so I'll stop the video here, and then next time we'll probably jump into a little bit about the outfitting side of the ships to help you understand that, what you need to do, and all those side of things. So thank you very much for watching once again. If you have any questions, please leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.